Thank you so much. Very happy to be with you, with a bit of nostalgia, of course, because I spent so many years not on the specific subject of election, but how to work in a democratic way with all African countries and with the African Union. My task today is only to give you a wish, because I am not technically expert on the new events that we have now in the evolution of electoral process. But no, I am obliged, sorry, but I am obliged to start with the observation of my friend Erasmus. Democracy is in retreat, and also elections are under danger because they are not anymore reputed as the first step for democracy. Look, I had an experience of what is happening in the world and in Africa. Look, when 60 years ago, the process of decolonization and political change in Africa, it was longer. In that time, very young people, the idea that democracy was flourishing was coming by nature, and then it started well with a great hope, and then we had such a slow speed of this process, and also, look, what surprises me that many leaders democratically appointed, they changed the idea after the power, and they were the first enemy, or the first type of people opposing the elections, the fair evolutions of the elections, But what worries me more is that, as Erasmus hinted, there is a word process of denigrating or abandoning democracy. It seems that there are not anymore in the world rights recognized by everybody. When I was president of the European Commission or prime minister in Italy, when we had conversation with Chinese leaders or others, it was, the conversation was starting, I don't say with recognition of democratic superiority but with the idea that democracy had some sort of general recognized values and goals. Now there is some sort of denying this process, and they say, look, there are alternatives to the idea of equal human rights, of general human rights, of democracy, elections. And one of the reasons is that democracy does not deliver. This is the way in which people are convinced that it is not worthwhile to do the work that you are doing now, And so your job is difficult, but is worthwhile, not because of principle, but because not only principle, there are also principles, but because it's the only way of, let's say, giving new hope to people, and in Africa is of utmost important. And, your meeting that is prior to the European Union, African Union great meeting of tomorrow and the day after tomorrow is absolutely important because elections are the necessary start of a process. And if there are not fair elections, there is no democratic process. But as I hinted before, is not enough. The problem is to be linked to the daily life of the democracy of the African countries and help them monitoring, suggesting, helping the daily working of the countries. And we need also another step, let's say, to build some daily contacts between European institutions and African institutions. Many times, in my experience, with the end of elections, it was like the job was done. The problem is to monitor any step of this process and to create institutions. Of course, I am out of politics since some century, but I remember when I was president of the European Commission that I insisted to create a common joint university between African countries and African Union, European Union, African countries, European countries, with an equal number of students, equal number of professors, some sort of to create a new community. And this was simply condemned as money wasted. This was the definition. This is money wasted. Now I am happy to say that the idea of working together in order to implement democratic step is going on, so this was only a personal example of the necessity of following up your fantastic job in consolidation and supporting the elections project. And it's worthwhile that this will be brought in front of the meeting of tomorrow and day after tomorrow in order to have a full program for democratic support. So I'm really ending this sermon. It's too long. Ending this sermon, I thank to the group of elections, to Santana, to the European Center for Electoral Support for this initiative. And I think and I hope that you will bring strongly your result to the summit of tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, because we need a new link between Europe and Africa. Everybody is telling that China is conquering Africa, Turkey is conquering Africa, but still the great support is of the European Union. Only our disunity gives a wrong message. But we have to think together, as you are doing today, how to be together with the African Union countries to help the democratic progress of the continent. Thank you so much, and have a nice day. Have a fruitful work together. Thank you.